So in this video, we're going to take a look at AMP looks cheap now. Is it a good time to buy? This is Michael, equity advisor and analyst at JB Markets. Before we do so, just take a look at the disclaimer to cover the general advice. Anything we cover today is going to be for general advice and doesn't take into your personal circumstance into consideration. So let's have a look at AMP. Before we can discuss AMP, we're going to take a look from the perspective of momentum and analyzing price. So not so much on the fundamentals, which is available to most investors, but we will touch a little bit on the reasoning as to why I would stay away from AMP. So this is the momentum ranking that we send out once a week. Now what it does is it ranks the top 200 ASX stocks based on momentum. Now momentum can be ranked a number of ways. The way we do it, if we look at, to illustrate this, I'll show you the chart. So how we look at it is we look at it from a perspective of the slope. So we have to, if you wanted to look at the moving average, and we're measuring the actual slope itself. So let's say the 200 day, and we're looking at the warlords here. So when we're measuring momentum, there's the most basic way, which is done by most research. They look at price over a look back or period of time, and they just look at the percentage gain. So they'll compare the current price now, and they'll just look at how much it's risen or how much it's declined. So for example, if we look back over, let's say in this case about 200 odd days, we can then determine what sort of percentage it's made in that duration, whether it's so the highest would be ranked at the top. What that doesn't take into account is really the volatility. So if you compare a $1 stock compared to, let's say, a $100 stock, the $1 stock is going to be a lot more volatile. So what we do is we take that into consideration and we adjust that accordingly. So what does that mean? So we have a look, for example, we look at it weekly because it smooths out the price. So we measure the slope of the moving average. Let's say we measure that there, and then we adjust for volatility. So these weekly ranges. So if a $1 stock is included into that list, its volatility has been adjusted compared to a $100 stock. It allows us to use the same metrics and normalize the results, meaning that we have accounted for a $1 stock compared to a $10, $100 stocks. So let's have a look at AMP in terms of its ranking. So at the top you can see IEL, IDP Education. Now that's the highest ranked one, which at 7.92, and then right at the bottom of the list we have AMP. So I wanted to focus on this because this is one of the lowest ranking stocks I've had clients ask about whether AMP is a good time to buy. You can see it's ranked minus 1183. So that means that it's the weakest stock out of the top 200 based on our ranking. Now it's also dropped in the same 52-week period, over 50% in that timeline. Now let's go have a look at AMP in terms of its stock. Its price action, I mean. So here we've got AMP on the chart. Now I want to focus on the price action of AMP in terms of where it's been and where it's likely to go. Now, not knowing the future, but we can have a good understanding that the trend itself is a way of gauging strength. And buyers and sellers, at the end of the day, when we look at a stock, it's really about supply and demand. And supply and demand dictates whether stock will rise or not over the short, long, medium term. So I've drawn two lines, which is indicating of one here is a support level at $3.63. So we had AMP several times touch that level back here in July 2003, March 2009, and a number period around August 2011, and it finally broke it at July 2018. Now you can see stocks that have strength have higher highs, which means it goes higher up and it pulls back, so you've got a higher low and forms this price action. Where stocks that are weak have the opposite, which is what you're seeing here: lower highs, lower lows. So really it indicates here that the psychology of the market, particularly on AMP, is a lot more sellers. There are periods where it does consolidate here for a while before it breaks down. Now at fresh new lows, and also a number of bad news coming up for AMP. So as a stock itself, you're really buying a falling knife if you were to come and look at buying it right at this point here. So we've broken the $2 level, the psychological number. It gapped almost to the $2 from the last week due to the announcement that the insurance business, the life business, does not go ahead. Also, they've also cut dividends, so there's more negative feedback loop. Now you can see there's no sign in terms of the price action that this is likely to bounce back anytime soon. Reality is that the next level is $1.50. It's a very psychological level to be reaching. And then once we hit $1.50, then it can go anywhere. It can potentially recover, but the likelihood of it recovering is very low, and that's what we want to work on, is probability if we're buying into a stock. As you can see, dividends have been cut. They were paying regular dividends up until recently. Now that's been cut. In terms of its momentum side, you can see a massive slope occurring from here. And that's that 52%, 52-week look back. We've had a 50% drop in the price. I'm going to wrap it up here. It's really a short video. I'll leave you with food for thought. Now we will were to go the other way, because momentum, by ranking momentum and ranking the stocks in the top 200, it really allows us to see where the smart money is going. Now let's have a look at the top one, and I'll wrap up this video. So IEL. So IEL has been really trending up very, very strongly, and it has been so really since the beginning of 2017. Now, I took the bottom of where that low is in December 2016, and I've drawn it to where we are currently now. That's a 415% gain. So a very big move. As you can see, the question will be, you would ask yourself is, this is where the money and the price action is, the smart money is moving into. It doesn't have to be this particular stock, but if you look at any of the top ranked stocks, you can see as more buyers come in, it fuels more people wanting to rush in to buy the stock, the fear of missing out, whatever the psychological reason. There are a lot of buyers coming in. Anyway, just wanted to give you a bit of an update as to AMP, what my thoughts are.